and one sort of trained economist from the Progressive Move Forward Party. So without further ado, I think I will start with Kun Virod from the Move Forward Party, if you like. You know, the Move Forward Party has consistently campaigned as a progressive alternative to the status quo in Thailand. Your slogan, Prom Chon, said as much. How would this actually work in the Bangkok context? What can you and your party bring to City Hall if you do win in this election? Please, Kun Virod.
ครับผมคิดว่าเบื้องต้นผมคิดว่าเราคงต้องให้คำนิยามของคำว่าพร้อมชนนะครับให้เข้าใจตรงกันเสียก่อนนะครับผมคิดว่าคำว่าพร้อมชนเนี่ยนะครับเราต้องตอบคำถามก่อนว่าเราชนเพื่ออะไรนะครับเราชนเพื่ออะไรฮะเราชนเพื่อเมืองที่เป็นธรรมครับเมืองที่สามารถแก้ปัญหาความเหลื่อมล้ำได้แก้ปัญหากติกาที่มันไม่เป็นธรรมได้ผมคิดว่าเรามีปัญหารากหรือปัญหาเชิงโครงสร้างทั้งหมด4เรื่องที่เราต้องเข้าไปแก้ผมคิดว่าเรื่องที่1ก็คือเรื่องของกฎกติกาที่มันไม่เป็นธรรมนะครับซึ่งถ้าเกิดเราปล่อยเอาไว้นะครับปัญหาความเหลื่อมล้ำนับวันก็จะมีแต่เพิ่มขึ้นเรื่อยๆประเด็นที่2ก็คือเรื่องของการบังคับใช้กฎหมายอย่างเท่าเทียมกันการบังคับใช้กฎระเบียบต่างๆในกรุงเทพมหานครอย่างเท่าเทียมกันในประเด็นที่3ก็คือการจัดสรรงบประมาณที่ให้ความเป็นธรรมกับทุกๆคนนะครับโดยเฉพาะคนตัวเล็กตัวน้อยแล้วก็4ที่เราจะพูดไม่ได้ที่เราจะไม่พูดไม่ได้ก็คือการจัดเก็บภาษีและค่าธรรมเนียมต่างๆที่ต้องเป็นธรรมด้วยนะครับผมเอาตรงนี้ก่อนนะ
I think we first need to define the word prom-chon, and it means to tackle problems. So first of all, we need to ask, what are we tackling? Our goal is to have a fair city, and I think we have 4 structural issues to tackle. The first is in regards to unfair regulations. If we do not have unfair regulations, that will lead to an increase in inequality. The second issue is we want fair law enforcement. The third issue is fair budget allocation. And the fourth is in regards to tax collection.
Anyway, if Bangkok people hope to have the fair city, right? If we talk about the fair city, so we need to have 4 targets. The first one is fair regulation and fair tax collection. Okay, we have to talk both fair tax collection or fair fee collection. What does it mean? Okay, for example, garbage free, right? This is fair enough for the convenience store. The profit from the big firm is around 10,000 baht, more than 10,000 baht annually, right? But they just pay the garbage fee only 120 baht per month for each branch. This is not fair, right? Okay, somebody talk that, okay, for each household pay only 20 baht a month. Okay, it's fair enough for the city to subsidize the household because this is the people, right? But it's not fair if the city have to bring the tax to subsidize the big firm like the convenience store, right? This is the basic that can be the example for not fair city, right? For the signboard tax, we can collect only 30 to 40%, and the billboard, the enterprise that do the business about billboard, right? The marketing value is more than 20,000 baht, 20,000 million baht annually, but we can collect the signboard tax only 1,000 million baht a year. This is not fair, right? I think it's too little, right? And we can collect only 30 to 40%. This is not fair. The number 3 for the land tax. I think everybody saw the urban area, right? The area used to cultivate the banana, right? the lemon to avoid to pay the land tax for the city. This is not fair. If the Bangkok governor allow this kind of situation occur, how can we have enough money, enough budget to provide the welfare for the Bangkok people? This is, if we talk about the fair city, so we need to talk about a fair tax or fair fee collection as well.
Okay. Thank you, Khun Viroth. I think, I mean, the other thing that I want to just raise now is the this idea of the new voters that we're seeing. It's quite phenomenal that we have about 700,000, I think, new voters coming in, and as your party in the last general election, the national level, and for many of you, understanding the Thai governor race, there's a lot of echo for the national level politics as well. So, for a party, your party that has sort of galvanized so much young votes in the last election, what does this mean for the 700,000 new eligible voters here in the capital? Would you think that you guys can attract those votes? Is that the plan?
If we talk about the new generation or first voter, right? I think it's not fair if we focus only on the teenager, right? Because for the elder, we cannot remember the former Bangkok the former Bangkok governor election, right? It's 9 years ago, right? So everybody in Bangkok should consider the new voter, and I think a lot of people need and hope to see the change, and this is our target. And in my point of view, I think there are a lot of people, especially the people that hope to see the change for the Bangkok and hope to see the structural change or the change from the root cause. Well, vote for us. We'll vote for Viroth.
Thank you, Kapi Viroth. We'll come back to you. I want to go to our second candidate, Kun Chhatcha Sittipan, who's running as an independent candidate this time. But of course, as a former transport minister under the Yingluck administration, why have you decided, Kun Chhatcha, to compete in this election as an independent rather than for Pheu Thai? And as such, what can you and your independent team bring to City Hall if you win this election?
Thank you, Khun Phanu. Maybe you should ask me why should I run with Pheu Thai? Because I think independent maybe it's good for the local government. Maybe I read Mayor LaGuardia, the Chicago mayor, he quote maybe in 1934 something that there's no democratic or Republican way of cleaning the street. Right? In the local level, you do the job that as a manager of the city. So for me as a candidate for the prime minister 2 years ago, right? The problem I found is that sometimes when you have the party, they have hierarchy that like the policy has to be decided in the committee level. Sometimes the policy did not come from yourself, and it's not easy to defend it. When you go to the debate and the policy come from the party level, certain policy you not really fully endorse, but you have to defend it. So I mean, at that time, sometimes I'm not very comfortable doing the debate, because the policy come from different directions. But with the independent, every policy you have no hierarchy and you control your own policy with your group. So I think that make me feel more comfortable running as an independent. And as a local level, I think the task is more like a service to all people. So I think, and I resigned from Pheu Thai Party 2.5 years ago. I think that's the right way to do. And 2.5 years, I feel confident that I did the right thing. And I think we can bring many volunteers, because I think in Thailand, lots of people may be fed up with the conflict in the big politics, but many want to do good thing for the city. So when we decide to run as an independent, we have like 10,000 volunteers joining us as a friend of Chhatcha. And we have many like experts. Some of them are like civil servants, but they help because they don't like to, if I'm in the Pheu Thai party, I think they might not come and help because they feel that it's still divided, sometimes they have the image of the big politics. But as an independent and not involved with the big politics in the local level, I think that's somehow we can unite more people and bring more people to get involved. Maybe I'm wrong, but as a team, I think this is the right way to do. And you can see many mayors in the world, like Bloomberg. He certain period he's a independent, or even the Taipei mayor, Wen-jie, he also start as an independent. Or even the mayor of Tokyo, the lady, she also started as an independent. Or even the previous mayor of Bangkok, many of them also independent. So I think, but as I said, maybe I'm wrong, but the way I work a campaign, I'm very confident with it. And I think the thing that I can bring is a unity. I think I can bring many people to join the campaign. And I think the way we react to the campaign is quick because there's no hierarchy in our group, right? So we can make decisions, we can change things quickly, and don't have to wait for the committee level decision.
Kun Chacha, I mean, the last time that you were in public office, though, you made, I think, made really good connection with younger voters, especially, you becoming internet memes and that sort of thing. How much support can you count on from that demographic? I mean, considering that we just heard from Kun Virod earlier and his youthful party, I mean, how much do you think that you can count on that demographic and the fact that you made that connection with the youth early on?
Yeah, thank you. I think that our vision is we want to make Bangkok livable for all, right? So I think we have to count all voters, not only the younger one. And the younger one, we try our best, but I'm not sure how much we can get from them. Because the meme, funny thing is one thing, but running Bangkok is another thing.
Right.
So it's not really related. So the meme with me is something funny a long time ago. So we have to prove them with the policies and the way how to achieve it. I think that the new voters that you mentioned is important because they would be the one who was affected by my policy most, right?
Right.
Because they will stay the longest. I mean, we will die in 20, 30 years, but they will stay 60 years and got the result from our policy. And they will be the one who have to fund this city, to pay for the city in the future, right? So even the vote is the same, the vote count the same, but the effect on them is more. I think now the problem with the youngsters, I think maybe 3 or 4 problems. One, I think nobody listen to them. I think what they feel, nobody listen to them if they have some conflict. I mean, the big government, they have no channel for them to express their difference. The second, I think they feel that the Bangkok BMA, Bangkok Metropolitan Authority, is not relevant to their life. They can not make their life better or worse, or maybe only make their life worse. And the quality of life is poor. So many of them thinking of moving to other places, maybe other cities, or maybe even other countries. And I think the last thing would be the economic side. I think they feel right now with COVID and with the global impact, I think maybe they feel desperate about the economics too. So I think these are the 4 things that we have to address. We have to provide channel for them to give their opinion and share their opinion. Maybe we have some channel, maybe analog or digital. And we have to make BMA relevant to their life. And then I think that we can bring the confidence back.
Thank you, Kun Chacha. We'll come back to you. We'll go to our final candidate, Dr. Suchat Chawi Suwan Sawat, from the Democrat Party, of course, very well known as well, another MIT engineer. Dr. Suchat Chawi, Dr. A, the Democrat Party has dominated Bangkok City Hall election since, for more than a decade, since the mid-2000s, and has only recently appeared to be losing a bit of ground at the national election in 2019. What can you offer if you do become governor to re-energize your party's old political base? I mean, essentially, I'm relatively young. I'm in my mid-30s. As a Bangkokian, it's been a Democrat city all my life. So what can you do to re-energize that base?
Thank you very much. And good evening, everyone. I hope you enjoy your dinner. First of all, my voice is gone. This is about, the campaign is very hard and very tough. And I have to wake up very early and go on and on and on every single day. But it's a good thing about the campaign, based on my experience. I have to wake up very early. That's nice. And I have a chance to exercise every single day. I have to walk, I think it's 20 to 30 kilometers a day. And then I have to have a new friend like this in the evening. So to answer Kun Panu question about Democrat Party, I would love to say that Democrat Party still have a lot of fan club in Bangkok and throughout the Kingdom of Thailand. But of course, politics is politics. Of course, it's full of surprise. So we don't need to talk about the past, but we have to focus on today and the future. And I come with the solid vision to make a difference, to change Bangkok. We can do it in the name of our campaign. And of course, what is our vision that we're going to show to the voter and all the people and share with you tonight? We want to change Bangkok to the modern welfare city. That is, we have a solid vision. And I do believe that the people in the past who give our party a chance will see that, will see through that, and give us another opportunity to make a difference. And of course, this is the new candidate, come with a new vision, strong vision. And I would like to say that we're not going to disappoint the people. So we come with a solid commitment in this time.
Well, thank you, Kap. And you yourself, as a person, I mean, you were not politician before this. You were an engineer, you were an administrator at university. Why did you decide to enter politics, and what can your background, bring something new to the city hall race?
I think all of us want to see a difference. I think all of you foreigner, I think you love Bangkok, you love Thailand, right? Right? I think everyone say yes. The city and the country have a lot of potential. Good people, right? Good food, and good culture. We have a lot of potential. But the problem is the good leadership and a solid vision. That is the most important thing of all the city throughout the world. Leadership and vision. What are they going to bring? First, I will bring hope. That is the most important thing. You know that if you ask people in Bangkok, hey, anyone going to solve the flooding problem, the traffic jam, inequality? Maybe most of them may say, I don't think so. I don't think so. It's going to be another day. It's going to be another election. And everything going to be the same. No. So I bring hope. I will question you and Thai people. Hey, you see Tokyo, you see Singapore, they also have a lot of crises. They have a lot of problems. But why they can solve the problem? So first, I will bring hope as the name of my campaign. Change, we can do it. And the second, I will bring commitment. Commitment, as I just mentioned, Thai people, great people, good food, everything is excellent. But the problem is leadership and the commitment. I will bring commitment. In 4 years, Bangkok will be different. I will put all my energy, my ability to do this job. And the third, what we are lucky today, luckier than the past 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We have technology. So we're going to be the governor to bring technology and engineering method, as you just introduced my background, to solve Bangkok problem and also uplift the quality of the people who live in Bangkok. Not only water, but all of you, all the people. That's what I bring. And probably I among a few who not been in politics before. I mean, in this table, and only me. What I think, why I left everything and just keep walking and want to make difference. I will answer you as a Thai citizen who have chance to study abroad, that my tuition come from the taxpayer. If I be able to do something for my ability at my age, I have to do it. And I do strongly believe that the job as a Bangkok governor will fit my potential, my ability very well. That is my answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor. We have plenty of time left, and I know that there's a lot of press, foreign press in this room. So if you have any question, I think I'm going to just open up the floor for this coming session now. Please address yourself, introduce yourself, who you're from, and address for which candidate you want to ask. I know there's numerous issues that we want to ask our candidates, but because we're operate not as a local press, but more of an international reporting background. So any question goes. Thank you. Saksit.
My name is Saksit Sarasombat. I'm the Thailand correspondent for CNA. Question to all three of you gentlemen. We heard a lot about what you want to do and also from other candidates as well. But we all know that Bangkok is special in the sense that A, is the only province where they can vote their own governor. The question to you, for me to you is though, how realistic are your policies to be realized once you're elected governor? And when does the problem start? For example, you try to do something, but then you find out I can't do that in my capacity as Bangkok governor because that's something, for example, on a national level. I wanted to change the utility poles. I wanted to change the buses, but that's somebody else's task that I can't do that. So how do you want to solve that as Bangkok governors?
Anyone who want to go first for this one? Dr. Chachat, please.
Thank you for the question. I think when you look at our policy, right? I mean, our vision would be to make Bangkok livable for all. The problem of Bangkok, previously, I think if you look at the Bangkok as a body of the people, they're like a blood system. You have the arterial system and the capillary system. I think the Bangkok city, we invest a lot in the mega project or in the arterial system, right? But the problem is the capillary system, I mean the sewage in front of your house, the pedestrian way, the small school near the community. We have the world-class hospital that you all use, right? We have world-class university, but the local school is poor. So I think if we focus more on the small capillary system, which doesn't need much budget, you just need attention and details and work hard on it. It might not be as sexy as building the mass transit, BTS, right? If you do something locally like the bus system, but that's what really the people need. So I think our policy focus more on the real thing. If you look at our website, right? www.chhatchat.com, chadchat.com. We have about 220 policies already. Not policy, I think maybe action plan. And everyone have the English version already. So you can see that our project is not big project, but it's workable, doable, not need too much budget. I think it touched the life of all the people, right? I mean, because Bangkok, we have 10 million people, including unregistered. Each have their own problems. You cannot solve Bangkok problem with 10 policy, you need something in detail. And I think you mentioned that what happened if we cannot do it? Once we declare it on the website, right? We have all listed 220 things that we're going to do, right? We have to report the progress every month. What progress is it and why we cannot do it? And just be truthful to the people. report to them what is obstacle. Is a major main government problem? Is it registration, or do we miscalculate or misjudge the situation? Just be truthful to them and let them see the progress. I think now with all the technology, right? I think one of the projects that we do, we call Open Bangkok. Just open data, tell the people what's happening, and have a platform for them to give back. So I think with all this technology, I think we can push all the projects that we intend forward, and be truthful to the people about which can be done, which cannot be done. Thank you.
Dr. A or คุณวิโรจน์ which one คุณวิโรจน์ก็ได้ครับ
In my point of view, if we, according to our 12 policy, right, I think it's possible to implement all policies. Okay, I think somebody feel hopeless to change the Bangkok and try to accept the same how to say same limitations and accept the destiny, right? And I try to propose the idea that if all of us would like to see the new Bangkok and confront with the new challenge, we need to solve the structural problem. So I think it's possible. I think we just fear to change, but the change is possible. For example, okay, budget, new budget allocation. For example, okay, we allocate to 2,000 million baht for the tunnel to drain the water, right? But we invest very little budget for the pipeline maintenance. This is not fair, right? So how we can solve this kind of problem? Just relocate, right? Relocate the budget and do the thing straightforward. Don't be considerate of the construction enterprise owner. I think it's possible. For example, another example for the garbage free, right? So we can use the mechanics of the Bangkok Council. That's why we need to send the candidate to be the Bangkok Council as well, right? To amend the regulation to increase or enhance the garbage free, especially for the enterprise owner. For example, factory, department store, convenience store, to let them pay more. Right now, I would like to share the idea that the cost of the garbage management is around 7,000 million baht a year. But we can collect the garbage fee only 500 million baht. This is too little, right? And how can we improve the garbage management for the Bangkok people, right? So I think it's possible to use the Bangkok Council mechanism to amend the regulation for the land tax, right? We can issue the new regulation to avoid the real estate enterprise to avoid the land tax, right? We can issue. I think it's possible, but I don't know why the former Bangkok governor try not to do this kind of things. I think it's possible. I have already checked the law. I think it's under the authority of Bangkok governor. And another example, okay, for the water treatment. Right now, I think we cannot collect the money or the water treatment fee from the factory, from the 5-star hotel in the Bangkok. I think it's fair enough to collect the water treatment fee from this kind of enterprise, right? If according to the polluter pay principle, right, this kind of business emit how to say pollution, water pollution, right? They need to pay more. I think all idea I propose, I think is possible, but we need to have the leadership enough to do this kind of thing.
Okay, thank you, P. Virod. Dr. A, you like to answer this
Thank you for the question, คุณศักดิ์สิทธิ์ I want to make it clear about this question. Your question is whether, as the Bangkok governor, you can do everything. I will tell you, the duty of Bangkok governor, the Kingdom of Thailand, 3 things. Okay, 1, the first, everything that you can do by your own, under your authority, right? Education, healthcare, flooding in Bangkok, of course, you can do it. However, as a governor of Bangkok, you cannot stand alone. This is the capital of Thailand, right? So the second and third also important. The second, that the governor of Bangkok have to be able to work together with the government, right? Otherwise, how you mitigate the traffic problem, the pollution problem? You have to be able to work together with the government, right? It's like all over the world that the mayor or the governor have to work with federal government together. That is second thing. And the third, and very interesting, something that you cannot do under your authority. But if the governor see that, hey, we have to do it, you have to suggest government or even pressure the federal government. Let's say, what is it? Economy, right? That is very important. Law. You can suggest the government for improve many law that is very obsolete. So 3 things I tell Kun Saksit, that governor have to do all that to serve the Bangkok people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Krab. Next question.
Good evening. My name is Kittipum. I'm a producer with Al Jazeera. I have questions for all the candidates. So in this election, 16%, about 16% would be the first-time voters. Why should they vote for you, especially for Dr. A?
Okay, maybe Dr. A can take this one first and address directly.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, every vote is very important. I mean, not only the first-time voter, every vote counts, and not just the voter. I want to make it clear that as the Bangkok governor, you have to serve people. If you count just a group of people, it's not right. And it's not just voter, and it's not just Thai people, and most of you foreigner. It's my job is to become governor of Bangkok. I have to take care of you. But how? I make sure that the new voter, the young generation, will elect PA is my nickname. PA is my nickname. And very interesting that all the candidate, probably I'm the only one to use nickname, right? Right?
I'm sorry.
I want to say that as a father, I have a baby boy, 3 years old, and also I have a very old parent, 85 years old both. I will tell you that I do understand that one day you will be at my age. One day, I mean everyone. And I want to tell you, I want to solve as much as Bangkok problem. I don't want to pass to your generation. That is I want to say to the younger generation and new voter. And with it, my background, that all my ability, I love to serve you very well. And I don't want to pass all the problem that you complain. And of course, I listen to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Krab. Kun Chacha, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, for the new voter, I think I understand them. That's a problem, and I understand their pain and their problem. And I think I can provide solution and can provide hope to them. and bring them as a part of the solution. So I think that's the way to do it, because the new voters, they have so many ideas, they have so many creative capacity. So instead of let them be outside and provide solution for them, let them be part of the solution, understand their pain, and bring the hope to them. So I think that's the bottom line.
Thank you. P. Virod, you want to say something? We kind of mentioned the young voters.
One more idea. Let guess together what the young generation would like to see for the city. They would like to have the fair city, right? Because the fair city will give them the opportunity, right? Unfair city cannot give them the opportunity, right? The inequality will cannot give them the hope, right? So that's why we talk about the fair city. We talk about the 12 policy to create the fair city, the fair budget allocation, fair regulation, fair law enforcement, and also fair tax collection, right? When we talk about the welfare, right? Why we talk about the welfare city? When we increase the welfare for the elder, for the handicapped, for the children from 0 to 6 years old, why we do this kind of policy? We would like to top up, we would like to add up the money to the very, very susceptible people in the Bangkok, right? And that's why we do this kind of thing. Because we would like to increase the net income for each household, right? When each household have more net income or discretionary income, okay, they probably pay more, right? The purchasing power of the society will increase also, right? When the purchasing power of the society increase, what's next? The domestic consumption will increase also, right? When the domestic consumption occur, right, it will attract the new investment, right? And the new investment will create the new job, new opportunity, and fair income distribution, right? This is the opportunity for all. This is the why we need to top up the welfare for the people in Bangkok, because we would like to create the hopeful city, not cursed city. Now, because if we cannot add up the domestic consumption, we cannot have the new investment, right? And when we cannot have the new investment, nobody would like to stay in this city.
Okay.
That's all.
Thank you, P. Virod. Please.
Good evening, gentlemen. I work for the British Embassy in Bangkok rather than being a journalist, but I hope you'll indulge me with a question nonetheless. And I have to say, I wanted to just start by commending you all on the quality of debate that we've seen in this gubernatorial race to date. It's been really impressive to see the policies and the discussion that you guys have had. I think we'd all agree here, Thais and foreigners, that Bangkok is an amazing city. Not by coincidence, it ranks very highly in many indices at the moment. I think we all love living here. As the UK government, we think a lot, however, about those who are most disadvantaged in society, in our own country, internationally, and also in our work with Bangkok government. We have programs that we run here working with the current Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, and who knows, perhaps with one of you in future. But I wanted to ask you all, what do you see as the key challenges facing those who are poorer or more disadvantaged in some way in the city right now? And what are your solutions to addressing the urgent problems that they face, many of which have been exacerbated by COVID? Thank you.
Can you repeat? Kun Chachat said he couldn't really hear.
Sorry, Kun Chachat. I think I'm not great at making sure I'm right in front of the mic. I was asking, what do you see as the key problems affecting those who are poorer or disadvantaged in some way in the city? And what are the most pressing things that we need to do to tackle those problems?
ช่วยเหลือคน vulnerable ทั้งหลายครับอะไรที่เป็น challenge แล้วแต่เลยครับอยากจะใครพูดก่อนพี่วิโรจน์ก็ได้ครับ
Okay. for the poor in the Bangkok, right? And also the disabled, right? That's and what they need right now. They need to consume, right? They need to consume. They need to buy something to eat. Because of COVID, right? Right now, I think a lot of them lose their job, right? No job, no income, right? That's why the first thing first, we have to top up the welfare for the elder, for the kids, and for the disabled, right? To help them, right? I think this is not help. This is the welfare for them to make all of us that stay in Bangkok can be happy together, right? You cannot be happy if you see somebody unhappy and confront with the poor situation, right? So that's why we try to top up the welfare for them and let them have the right to buy something to consume, right? This is the basic, right? And okay, next one, we talk about the vaccine, the healthcare, the school, the education, right? These will come later, but first thing first. So I think the most important thing is to increase the welfare.
คุณ Chad, you want to
I
take?
think there are so many things that we need to do, right? But let me just give you one example that we're trying to do some simple things, right? I think many of the poor cannot reach the technology side, you know, they're like digitally illiterate. So how can we improve that? You know, maybe see the merchants in the market who don't know how to get in touch with the online marketing and limit their sale a lot. With another merchant, we can increase the sale a lot with the online. So we have a program called the technology volunteer, you know. I mean, right now we have about 2,000 communities in Bangkok, and each of them have a health volunteer. You give them 1,000 baht, and this health volunteer focus on improving the health in the community. Why don't we have a technology volunteer, right? Maybe a youngster, 18 to 25, who good at technology, right? And become volunteer in each community. And maybe we subsidize them maybe 1,000 baht. And then the role of them is to teach technology to all the people in the community. That's a simple thing, right? But they really improve the digital literacy of the poor, you know, and it can change. And also this volunteer can also help provide the data of the community, right? Because I mean, right now we have limited number of BMA officers that can go collect data. So this volunteer can also do like data collector. So provide data for each community to the center, and then we know the details of each community. So I think it's some simple mechanism, right? And make the technology more available to all people. And I think it can make big change.
Brilliant. Dr. A ครับ
I think your question is about disadvantage also, right? Yeah. I would say that, I mean, you mentioned first, you love Bangkok. Bangkok is amazing city. But I make it clear again and again that our disadvantage is leadership and commitment. Two things only. Bangkok have all potential. And you love that. You see, you've been all over the world, but we lack of leadership and commitment. So what are you going to bring it? It brings leadership and commitment. Leadership, you have to state it clear. Your vision have to be clear. My vision is change. Bangkok has to be changed, and we can do it. Change from now, I mean, a lot of problem, to the modern welfare Bangkok. So it's clear, and this is my commitment. And my commitment, you can see from my policy. And the problem is, right now, if you ask, it's inequality. Bangkok is not in this room. Bangkok is not Sukhumvit. I walk throughout the Bangkok more than million steps. If you have chance to see that, Bangkok is not in this place. If you're not your workplace, still a lot of poor people. Very, very poor people. Bangkok still have children that's still very hungry. They don't have a good food. That is Bangkok, that you cannot see it. And also, the people cannot access to quality education. Quality education. I mean, free education in Bangkok under the Bangkok governor, free. But the question is quality. No. And also, the ability to access the welfare, the healthcare system, that's still very questionable. So this, I come with a solid policy and commitment. I want to solve the inequality problem. That is the severe problem in Bangkok right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Kun Chad, you have something to add? sir?
May I add some information for the audience so you understand the perspective of Bangkok, right? I mean, the Bangkok BMA, the budget, annual budget is about 80 billion baht, right? The government budget is about 3 trillion Thai baht. So the BMA budget is only 2.6% of the big government. The people that be responsible is 15%, right? So we cannot do the role of the government for sure because we have very small amount of the budget. And then the GDP Bangkok is like 36.3% of the country. But the budget of the Bangkok BMA only 2.6%. So just give you some perspective of what we have and what is our role and what shall we do.
Just brief explanation. Because of the budget limitation, right? That's why I talk about the tax or fee collection, fair collection, right? We talk about the land tax, right? If we collect fairly, we can increase around 10,000 million baht a year, right? If we can increase the garbage fee, the water treatment fee, and the signboard fee. So after we can collect the fair tax in this city, I think we can have around 15,000 million baht. This will be the budget to do the welfare policy.
Okay. Thank you, Kapi Virod. Before we go to the next person for a question here, there was a lot of questions from online, so I just want to read one out just on the top. From Subel from Radio Free Asia. Does the Bangkok election reflect the nation political mood? Is this election a test for the government's popularity, or particularly the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha? Who would like to go first on this? Does this election reflect as a test for the national government current popularity? You know, Kun Chad, please.
Maybe some, but not 100%. Maybe some relevant, but not 100%. Yeah.
Dr. A, you want to say something? Your party, after all, is in the government.
It's the first question. Politics is politics. It's full of surprise. It's full of surprise always. But I want to make it clear again that the Bangkok governor, I mean, it's not just, it's a kind of job. It's not just a politician. If you call politician that Bangkok governor is by election, okay. But actually, it's very specific job. You are elect the one to solve Bangkok problem, a lot infrastructure problem, healthcare, education. It's difficult to say. So my point of view, I think it's difficult to say. No.
P.B. Road, anything on the national politics? You, after all, gave up your MP position to run in this race.
The election date, 22nd May, right? Of May, right? 8 years ago, coup d'etat occurred, right?
I know.
Coup d'etat occurred. And the Bangkok governor election date will be on
the anniversary
22nd of May, the same day, right? So this will be the penalty for Prayut Chan-o-cha.
Thank you. Please, if at the microphone I see. I'm sorry that I interrupt you.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you very much, you guys, for coming here. It has been a fruitful debate here. and I'm Pitsini Sherrod from a digital asset platform operator. So, so we, like I have seen and I've heard you guys talking about technologies a lot, and other metropolitan cities are adopting technologies like Web3, blockchain, and also all kind of technologies in like future technologies. And my questions are, what do you think are the uses and applications to support administration and governance of Bangkok? And another question is that if you were the successful candidate, is there any technological platform in your mind that you would adopt and how? Thank
Okay.
you.
It's a good tech question. Dr. A, please.
Okay, where you from? I'm sorry. Lady? Where you from?
A digital asset
I
exchange
mean,
operator.
originally your country.
I'm Thai.
You're
Full
Thai?
Thai.
คนไทย Okay.
Your English is perfect. I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I love to bring the technology, the proven technology, to solve Bangkok problems and uplift the people quality of life. And you see my policy, Bangkok internet will be free for people.
Wow.
It will be free. Will be free. That's very important. Don't surprise. So many cities is also very, it's free. 150,000 Wi-Fi hotspot throughout Bangkok will increase the productivity of the people. And right now, your children, we have to use Wi-Fi internet. It save your money. And your people have to work from home. That is, it makes a lot of difference. But this is not the only way to help people that can access to the online world, right? That is increase a lot of opportunity, but also give the Bangkok administrator an opportunity. You know what? I mean, if you come from other country, you don't need to go to Bangkok office to for the license, identification, fee. I mean, no need to go. Right now, nobody go to the bank. You use the online application, right? But now, Bangkok, you have to go to the Bangkok office, I mean district office. I mean, you spend a whole day. What's going on? No. My policy, solid policy, I tell that all the service will be online. Will be online.
Wow.
I mean, other country banking system, and even you want to buy something, you buy from Shopee, Lazada, it can show you what is the product form, what is going on, when it's going to be delivered to your place. So this will reduce all the red tape, will increase productivity. But listen, the more important thing, will reduce corruption. Will reduce corruption. Will answer you the technology. Serve people, serve Bangkok, and reduce corruption. The reduce corruption. Because everything will go online. Everyone can follow, can check. That is. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. A. Kun Chachat, Dr. Chachat, you want to take
Yeah, I
next?
think the role of the city is only two things, One is improving the quality of life. The second one is improving the productivity of the city. And I think we have to use the proper technology, right? I mean, we're talking about smart city a lot. Right? Like in Green Book, he said you need smart enough city, people centric. Don't use too much technology, but focus on the technology that serve the people, right? So I mean, for Bangkok, start with open Bangkok. Get all data open and people can access, and then improve the efficiency of and transparency of the Bangkok work. And I think the platform would be another thing that can use for people to share idea and to have a dialogue with the government. I think I talked to Audrey Tang, the digital minister of the Taiwan, a lot. I think Taiwan would be a good example. They have a platform that we can adapt and we can use, and then really people centric, not the supplier centric, but more focus on people and provide solutions. So I think there are plenty solutions around the world that we can use and focus more on people, but not the too much investment.
Thank you. P. Virod ครับ
In my point of view, I think we are not necessary to have sophisticated technology to create the quality of life in Bangkok, right? So I think there are just 4 areas that is useful for the Bangkok people. The first one is the right to know. Right to know what? The air pollution, right? The traffic situation, right? This is the right to know. And the water drainage system, right? The water drainage, the situation of water drainage when the rain come, right? Number 2 is the management help the city to drain the water. For example, to use the IoT to increase the efficiency of water drainage system in Bangkok, right? Number 3 is the transparency. So we need the technology to reveal the information, budget spending, the progress of the construction. All construction occur in the Bangkok, right? And number 4, the technology to help the Bangkok people to ask for the permission to do the business or do anything in Bangkok. Because I think, as you know, right, to do the business in Bangkok, we need to ask for the permission from the BNA, right? And right now, there are a lot of documents, there are a lot of paper that we need to write the petition. So the technology can digitalize this kind of permission and increase the efficiency. Okay.
Thank you, P. Virod. We have room for about 1 or 2 more questions. Lisa, you want to take this one? Oh, please speak to the mic.
Sawadika. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time this evening. Some of the things that I love most about Bangkok are the charming Nolden neighborhoods and the unique architecture, such as old wooden Thai houses and beautiful historic buildings. Is heritage protection important to you as a Bangkok governor candidate? How would you ensure as governor that the special character and history of Bangkok is protected amid rampant development of condos and shopping malls? Do you think that Bangkok could be at risk of becoming just another Asian megacity?
That was Lisa from AFP, by the way. So, and the question is about heritage อนุรักษ์ตึกเก่าอะไรทั้งหลายนะครับในกรุงเทพ Anyone want to take this one?
Okay.
Oh, okay, please.
Okay. As my colleague still thinking. Okay. Of course, I tell you, actually, the Kingdom of Thailand also have strict regulation in some area. In Ratanakosin Island, for example, you know Ratanakosin Island, Emerald Buddha, Sanam Luang, that is. So actually, right now we have the law and protection already. But also, the question is that, how about the rest of the area? The rest of area that is not under the protection by law. That is the job of the Bangkok governor, because when you do something, when you want to build your house, you want to expand everything, you have to ask for permission. You have to ask for permission. And the Bangkok is so many heritage house architecture that we have to preserve for the next generation. I want to make sure to you and Bangkok people that as your representative, as the Bangkok governor, I will do my best that to protect that. I will do my best. How? The first, the Bangkok administration also have engineers, also have architects, and we can work closely with university, with the network, that how to protect heritage architecture. So we will do it and make sure that all the architecture that come with culture, that is so many temple and all area of Bangkok will be preserved. I want to say this to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dr. Chachat ครับ
Thank you for the question. I think it's interesting question, but I mean, look it from another perspective. I think that the problem we find is that usually when the time come to demolish the heritage site, and we come or saying why you should demolish it. But I think the Bangkok city should start putting the value on it. Not crying when it's gonna be demolished, but start looking, exploring where is the value of each district, and create story on it. When you have story, you have information, you have digital experience of each building, you renovate it. It have a value that end up not being demolished. So I'm not talking on the restriction that you should not demolish this building or that building, but I'm talking about creating value of what we have, providing a heritage site, put information on it, put history on it, and get it a digital experience. So like I saw many things many times that when old buildings will be demolished, we start crying. But before that, we never realized the value of it until the developer come, right? So I think we should start beforehand, explore what the value in each district, and then make a story on it, and then create more value. And I think that may be the other way that we should look at the heritage site in Bangkok.
For this question, please let me answer in Thai because I need all of you to know my real emotion. คืออย่างนี้ครับ
คุณน้ำหวาน to translate
please help me เมื่อกี้มีการพูดถึงสนามหลวงมีการพูดถึงเกาะรัตนโกสินทร์ผมคิดว่าวันนี้เรามองคำว่าอนุรักษ์ผมมองคำว่าอนุรักษ์และมองคำว่าเมืองสวยงามในนิยามที่ต่างกัน
You want me to do it or you want to do it? Oh.
So there was a mention, people were mentioning Sanam Luang or the Royal Field, and also got Ratanakosin, which is Ratanakosin Island. And I think when we talk about the issue of preservation and what constitutes as a beautiful city, these are different issues.
การอนุรักษ์เมืองผมเห็นด้วยกับการอนุรักษ์แต่การอนุรักษ์ไม่ใช่การกันผู้คนกีดกันวิถีชีวิตไม่ให้คนมีวิถีชีวิตมีความขวักไขว่มีกิจกรรมทางสังคมมีกิจกรรมทางเศรษฐกิจร่วมกันกับเมืองถ้าเรากีดกันผู้คนออกไปจากเมืองแล้วเรามองการอนุรักษ์เป็นเพียงแค่การตกแต่งและมองแค่สิ่งปลูกสร้างมันจะแตกต่างอะไรกับเมืองจำลอง
So I agree with preserving the city, but preservation of the city should not affect the livelihoods of people and their activities.
So the conservation should not be blocking access. I'm translating of and then otherwise it will become just an artificial, block of cities.
ครับคราวนี้อย่างนี้ฮะผมยืนยันว่าเมืองที่สวยงามเราต้องคำนึงถึงกิจกรรมร่วมสมัยและกิจกรรมร่วมสมัยเนี่ยมันจะสร้างกิจกรรมทางเศรษฐกิจด้วยและที่สำคัญกิจกรรมร่วมสมัยนะครับจะทำให้คนที่เจเนอเรชันต่างกันได้เรียนรู้ความสนใจที่แตกต่างกันแล้วก็จะลดเจเนอเรชันแกปด้วยวันนี้เราลองดูตัวอย่างหลายตัวอย่างสิครับเราเห็นที่ท่าเตียนท่าช้างท่าพระจันทร์ไหมเราเห็นสิ่งปลูกสร้างที่สวยงามได้รับการบูรณะที่ดีไหมใช่ครับแต่เราเห็นความเงียบเหงาของเมืองมาด้วยไหมนี่คือเมืองที่สวยงามเมืองที่สวยงามเมืองที่ไร้ผู้คนมันจะแตกต่างอะไรกับเมืองล้างที่ทาสีใหม่เราต้องการนิยามคำว่าเมืองและการอนุรักษ์ให้ตรงกันให้ได้
So when we talk about beautiful cities, we also need to take into account contemporary activities so that the older generation can become more interested in these activities as well. And it will also lower the generation gap And when we look at the piers in Bangkok, for example, Tha Tien, Tha Chang, when we look at these places, we do not see many people. So there is a lack of people at these places.
อีกตัวอย่างหนึ่งที่ผมอยากจะยกก็คือว่าเป็นสิ่งที่ผมเสียใจมากๆผมคิดว่าทุกคนรู้จักชุมชนป้อมมหาการเราไล่ลื้อผู้คนที่อยู่กันมานานสิ่งที่เราแลกมาคือสวนแห่งหนึ่งซึ่งวันนี้ผมเชิญทุกท่านไปดูได้เลยว่าจำนวนคนใช้น้อยมากๆนี่ไม่ใช่เมืองที่เงียบเหงาเมืองที่กันผู้คนไม่ใช่เมืองที่สวยงามหลายคนบอกผมว่ารั้วที่สนามหลวงจะแก้ปัญหาคนไร้บ้านหรือโฮมเลสเราคิดโดยสติปัญญาของเราสิครับว่ารั้วมันแก้ปัญหาคนไร้บ้านได้เหรอไม่ใช่เวลแฟร์ต่างหากที่แก้ปัญหาคนไร้บ้านรั้วเป็นเพียงเครื่องมือในการผลักคนไร้บ้านไปอยู่ที่อื่นและซุกปัญหาไว้ใต้ผมเท่านั้นเองและถ้าผู้ว่ายอมน้ำท่วมปากยอมหลับตาข้างเดียวให้สิ่งเหล่านี้มันเกิดขึ้นเราจะแก้ไขปัญหาที่รากเหง้าได้อย่างไรนี่คือสุดท้ายข้อนี้ครับ
ป้อมมหาการ
the
Fort
the Mahakan Fort in the sort of the old city on Radamnern Road that was demolished.
Yeah, so when it was demolished, it was also turned into a park, and not many people actually used the area. So Bangkok, so it in a way it turned into a deserted city, and it's not something that looks very beautiful. And when you talk about Sanam Luang or the royal field, people say that the gates surrounding Sanam Luang, the gates would be able to solve the issue of homelessness. But I ask this question, do the gates really solve the issue of homelessness? In order to solve that issue, we have to use welfare to help these people.
Okay. Thank you, Kapibiro. Thank you, Noman. Maybe the final question. We have time for one more question.
Thank you for such an interesting debate. I guess I have one question for each, so I guess would be three for me. I work for the British Embassy in Bangkok, so for the UK government, and we have a programs that work with BMA in Thailand for a number of years now. But I think my questions would be from my personal capacity, if I may. So I guess for Dr. A, I think I'd like to ask to what extent do you think the wider situation that we see on the headlines around Democratic Party has affected your bid to be the governor of Bangkok. And for Dr. Chachat, I think your policy and action plans talks a lot about green space, and I think we've seen more kind of during the pandemic, people have more pets, and that's kind of a trend around the world, and we see that in Thailand too. To what extent you think about kind of pets owner and how much they can use green space in Bangkok? Because I think what I observe the differences between Bangkok and other cities is that we don't really have, we pretty much exclude pets to use the park. And when you mention, Bangkok as a livable city for all, I want to understand more about your policy around, pets owner. And for Kun Virot, I think I think your campaigns talks a lot about tackling certain issues, corruption, and so on. And I think we all know that we have, for the Bangkok governor, we have limited authority, budget, and so on. How do you plan to work with number of stakeholders that I think your policy might have shaken the current status quo for them? So that's my three questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Three tough questions. Dr. A, you want to take the first one, the scandal?
Yeah, you have three quota, one question, but ask different question for all candidates. For me, you put me in a very tough position, right? Right? This is your intention, huh? Of course. sexual harassment is unacceptable. It's very unacceptable. I make it clear. But the question is that is you say that in the newspaper, but the question is how we prevent it. That it would be the right question. How we prevent sexual harassment. I tell you three things. First is education. The second is serious law enforcement. And the third, the technology. First is education. If I become the Bangkok governor, I make sure that since kindergarten, they have to learn that sexual harassment and all kind of bullying is unacceptable in school. It's unacceptable. So this is very important. Then in the future, you will have the new generation that will be unacceptable for this sexual harassment and all kind of bullying. That is will happen if I become the governor. Because as early as possible, since a little boy, little girl is very important. The second is law enforcement. I want to make sure that if I become a governor, in Bangkok administration, if this kind of thing happen in the office, no matter how big you are, in any kind of problem, you will get the serious punishment, right? And the third, the technology. I mean, a lot of harassment on the street. Bangkok at night, I don't want to say that you are foreigner. I want to say a good thing about the city, right? I mean, but I have to say that it's many places at night. And even it's daytime, it's not safe. It's not safe. So the technology, as I mentioned, all the CCTV will go online. Use the Wi-Fi network that the Bangkok can provide. You can check everything online. If you have a daughter, the daughter leave the school, you can see it. So the thing that this will be good prevention before it happens. Thank you for the tough question. You gave it to me.
Thank you, Dr. A. Dr. Chachai, you want to go to take the pet question?
Yeah, I think I think Bangkok we need more green space, but maybe the like smaller near the community, right? We have big space like Lumpini Park or Bentakiti Park, but it's far from the community. So I think we try to increase more like pocket park. We have the policy of Bangkok 15 minutes. Like we try to get every location to be able to access to the park like 800 meters. It's not easy, but I think in the long term we can reach it. We can use like a government area or school or public space, Regarding the pets owner, I think we have some parks, right, Bung Nong Bon, that you can bring dogs to. I think this can be increased, but it should come with the responsibility of the owners too. So we start training and then maybe start with certain park, but maybe some area that allow, and then make sure that they understand how to treat. Because I think the pet owners maybe the minority at the moment, So I think the majority are not the pet owners, but I think we have to respect the need to. So I think we will increase more parks that allow pets. But the bigger problem is not allowing pets to the park, but the stray dog and stray cats, which is a big problem that I think we have to handle it, right? We have to do the vaccination, sterilization. And I think in Thailand, it's kind of not acceptable to put them to sleep. I mean, maybe different from other places, right? I mean, if you have like human society, certain period, nobody adopt, so they put them to sleep. But in Bangkok, the problem is that it's against our belief. So I think this is a big issue. Actually, if you go to the community, the stray cat is a big problem because they produce so quickly, every 3 months and then 5 months. So I think this one we have to handle it. It seems to be a minor thing, but we got many complaints about stray dogs and stray cats too. Thank you.
Thank you, Khun Chachai. We wrote on the stakeholders, quite a tough question as well.
I would like to tell you straightforward that all information I talk about the corruption or the unfair situation. For example, the garbage free, right? Or the problem of the garbage biological factory located in Pravet district. So I receive this kind of information from the incumbent official or the retired official. And the most of information I got from the stakeholder, the company that used to work along with BMA. And especially the official, especially the existing official told me, hey, please do not neglect this kind of thing. Please stop this kind of behavior. Because if we let it be and admit this kind of problem as the limitation of the city management, we cannot change the city because we cannot create the structural change. We cannot relocate the budget. We cannot have the fair regulation. We cannot have the fair city. So, and if we cannot have the fair city, we cannot have the opportunity for the young generation. So that's why we try to sell the idea that if all of us would like to see the new Bangkok, we need to change the root cause of the problem. That's why we provide the 12 policy to create the fair city for all people in Bangkok.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you all of you for our time is afraid. I'm afraid that our time is up, but I would like, on behalf of the Foreign Correspondent Club of Thailand, thanks all three candidates for coming this evening. I think the discussion was actually quite vibrant and interesting, and I think all three of you have, quite very promising, and you've answered every question straightforwardly, and I wish all three of you the best. Of course, there will be one winner coming after May 22nd, but all the best for the campaign and the future. And before we go off, I just want to have some housekeeping announcement for the FCCT. I think we have a piano night next Friday, and then the next event, major event we have is the Tuesday, May the 10th, is a panel discussion on African swine flu, something that has plagued the Thai pig industry earlier this year. So with that, I would like to thanks again for tuning in. And if you have any interest in keeping up with our activities, please sign up to be members to receive our bulletins and information. And thanks again for tuning in. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.